If you thought the latest thing in interior design was cool minimalism and bare white walls, think again. The latest thing is textiles. Ancient tapestries, old remnants of fabric, even old clothes. Doesn't matter how tatty it is. If it's old, it's in. There really is a bewildering range of textiles to choose from. Tapestries, silks, brocades, damasks. But how do you know what's worth buying?
You've got to like it as a first step, and then you should look really for condition, for good fresh colours, and for something that really is out of the ordinary, that you think is either particularly tightly woven or has fantastic colours or an unusual drawing. The thing that makes them valuable is the quantity of silk that's actually in a piece per square inch, for example, and secondary also the amount of metal thread that you see in them, because that in an 18th century fabric will be real silver or real gold, so that has a value of its own.
The fabrics are beautiful, but could you put them to any practical use? 15 years ago, the head of antique textiles at Sotheby's wanted to do just that. The expert, Alidad, left the company and set up his own interior design business to use the fabrics he'd fallen in love with.
Wherever I look, I love most things here. This is where I come to sort of just dream, because I love textured things, particularly velvets.
Well, like this one,
like,
this is velvet,
yes,
isn't it?
this is wonderful, actually.
What's this?
This must be new, because I haven't seen it.
Should we get it out?
Yes, let's have a look what it is. I haven't seen one this big for quite a long time, and it seems to be, let me have a look, in good condition. But what's interesting, I think, is that the border is probably older than the actual cloth.
Oh, I see, they're not the same.
Well, because what used to happen, because this is made of metal thread, it used to last much better than cloth. So very often the cloth would wear out, and they used to reapply the braid onto a new cloth. And I think this was probably happened sort of in the late 18th century or sort of 19th century.
It's a bit of 18th century recycling.
Absolutely, yes. But it's wonderful, isn't it?
This is beautiful. What's this?
This is a church banner, which would have been used on festival days.
When I see something like this, though, I think if you live in your average modern house and you want to put something like this on your wall, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, isn't it?
The way I look at a piece like this gives me that texture, which I love. I love textured rooms, so this gives me an opportunity to actually put the texture even on the walls.
So you just hang it like a picture?
I just hang it like a picture, yes.
I must have looked sceptical, so Alidad invited me to his own flat to show me how his extraordinary vision is realised.
This is the sort of thing I love doing, because I love old master paintings and basically paintings, but the sort of paintings I love are so expensive that I'd rather use a textile like this, which is as beautiful. And then this sort of thing I love doing, just draping textiles over chairs. I mean, and then I have layers of it. This one, for example, is probably, I use it when I'm in a bad mood. This is sort of medium mood, and this is fantastic mood.
So this is your living room, is it?
This is my living room. It's very much a day room, as you can see. I feel when you live in England that, you know, quite often the weather's not great. So you do need sort of light rooms for the days that are light, but you definitely need dark rooms. And I love these womb-like rooms that I sort of specialize in. I love...
This is beautiful.
I love dark and sort of mysterious rooms. This is what I call the core of the house. I think everybody should have a room like this. I love, you know, using pattern on pattern. It never worries me. When it comes to carpets and textiles, I love them to be worn out. I hate full pile carpets.
This one has certainly seen better days, hasn't it?
It certainly has. It's probably more worn out than most people would like it to be. So every time there's another hole appearing, like in here, for example, my solution is, instead of tinting it and, you know, back it and all sorts of things, I just put another carpet on top.
So this is the bed.
And this is the cover. So let's see if it fits.
But you've got a cover on here already.
I do, and I love it. It's a sort of French quilted cover. For everyday use, it's wonderful, but I want something sort of special as well, and I want to have a bit more texture. This is rather flat. So let's see. I've always had problems finding large bedspreads
And how-
that actually fit.
How much is this worth, something like this?
This is worth about £2,000.
Gosh, that's a lot, isn't it?
Well, I think it is a lot, but considering it's an 18th century piece, it probably isn't. And
But if you wanted to get this kind of look...
you
with
could easily
not
get
spend
it
so
by
much money.
actually getting a modern fabric, modern velvet, and copying the key pattern, which is a very
Just
classical
pattern along the side.
Absolutely. For probably, you know, a lot less than £2,000.
There are antique textiles available for a few £100s, but Alidad's aim is to create as sumptuous an effect as possible. The more colours, fabrics, designs and textures, the better, even down to his gilded leather wallpaper in the candlelit dining room.
This is the last room that
Like it or loathe it, certainly makes an impact.